Hello, YouTubers and people that watch apparently unnecessary long art videos, because this one's one of those ridiculously long ones again. This is Antoinette and welcome to my channel. So today's video is, okay, I'm somewhat embarrassed to say that it took me almost 2 weeks to make this video for very many reasons, but it's up now, so here we go, something else. So I did a mandala again. I really absolutely love doing these, mostly because it's super relaxing. There's no plans and you just kind of mission. I realize my head pops in, like you can see my hair there. See, it's all natural hair color, no roots and stuff. The mandalas are really relaxing. And something I realized, I stayed in Pretoria for a while, and we used to, just for a day trip type of thing, go down to the Buddhist temple in Bronkhorstspruit. And every now and then they have this meditation thing where you go and they have, lines and lines and lines of tables and chairs, and you sit down and they give you a couple of chants to do, and they play some like really chill music, and they have these sheets of calligraphy writing with their characters on it, and it's a meditation. And then they give you a fantastic pen it's a brush pen, calligraphy pen, but sort of a modernized version. So it helps for us rookies who don't actually know how to use those decent pens. And you sit down with this pen and these pre-printed calligraphy letters, and you literally, all you do is you sit and you go over the letters. A little bit like when you were a kid and they gave you letter books that already had the A's and the B's and the C's written in it. But the thing is you're sort of in this environment where this relaxing music is playing in the background with a little bit of chanting before you even do write the calligraphy paper. You do a bit of chanting if that's your thing, and then you start, and you get so lost in doing the characters that it's literally like meditating. So I think because we're used to writing, so even if you're writing, your head can be somewhere else. But because of this writing being so sort of new to my brain, it makes me concentrate on the writing a lot and trying to get it right and trying to achieve that thin, thick thing that you get with a brush pen. And I feel that level of concentration is something that I can get to when I'm doing the mandalas. I have a bunch of them. I actually learned how to do my very first one when I was in primary school. I didn't know it was a mandala at the time. I need to point this out. But I did my very first one there, and our maths teacher made us draw them. And it's I don't know, they look cute and you can do ridiculous things with them. And you'll see towards the end of the video, my absolute favorite thing about this is you can see it looks amazing. It looks absolutely amazing. But as soon as you zoom in and you actually look at where the points and the tips meet and how far the lines are apart, and there's no consistency, it actually looks a little bit like a mess. If you just take a little bit of a step back, you've got this amazing picture that's going there. And yeah, I watched a couple of intricate mandala YouTube videos just as sort of sideline inspiration, because I find I might get stuck. You'll see I sort of pause every now and then. Obviously it's editing and stuff as well, but I pause every now and then. I can literally see myself thinking, right, so what's the next step? So I've decided I'm doing this for this piece of the circle, and then I'll do this for the next piece of the circle. And so I'll usually have a couple of tabs open with Pinterest pages and that sort of thing, and a YouTube channel with someone actually physically busy drawing it, and to just help keep the inspiration going. So I stay with the flow of the actual doodles. See, I'm trying to find, what will I do on the next circle, and what will I do on the next circle, and it takes sometimes to just okay, I'm going to do this, and this looks really nice. And that's another thing though, is you can literally just do the same thing over and over and over again, and you're still going to have an amazing effect. So there's no getting bored and that sort of thing with it at all. I do the construction lines that I draw before the time they're fairly small, so I try and get as close as possible so that I've got a lot of lines to work with when I'm actually drawing the mandala on top of it. Sometimes I'll literally just do circles, sometimes might just do lines, but in this one specifically I segmented it quite heavily, and then I did the circles as well, a centimeter apart, to just help with that, making it a little bit more precise. Though precise is a terrible word to use right now because like I said, it's not precise at all, but the end result is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I also because I do it's the mandala on the page, I don't like doing it in the center. I used to do it in the center, but then I kind of feel like I want to cut the paper, so I tend to do the mandala towards the one end of the paper, and then I'll use like another sort of decorative method. You can see my previous flower mandala video as well. I'll use a different decorative method to just do the background. And from the beginning with this one, I kind of thought I'm going to do the accents in the mandala itself in red, and then I'm going to do the background in green, classic art style, to just make it mesh in with each other. And obviously I have a couple of tools that I use to make life a little bit easier, and I am slightly post a couple of my watercolors on Instagram as well. I'm slightly obsessed with this circle ruler. I don't know if it's got a fancy name. If it does, please put it in the comments below so that I can consider myself educated. I love these little circles. I made just out of inspiration moment, a really cool koi fish a couple of weeks back, and it turned out so amazing. And it literally just started with me doodling a bunch of circles using this circle maker ruler drawer thing on it. So I use this guy, and then just a normal ruler, and then I have a compass and a protractor. And yes, you can actually get away with much less. I like having these things on hand. I tend to use a mechanical pencil, which I'm not actually sure what you call them, to do the construction lines before the time, and then with the actual drawing of the thing, I used, I think, an H pencil, but it wasn't like specifically like this is the pencil I used. It just happened to be the one that was the sharpest, so I grabbed that one, and that's what I did the mandala's lines, big lines with, and so. And yeah, so this piece, it's much faster to just draw the thing from scratch, but I didn't know what I wanted to do in terms of the color and that sort of thing, and I really wanted to leave myself a lot of space to do a lot of intricate lines. So I did it in pencil first. I do regret it, and I'm not doing this again. I think it's better to just go in straight with a pen and just make, what does Bob Ross say, happy accidents, and fix them as you go on. It's better to just approach it like that. You'll also see when I'm drawing the mandala itself, I'll start in the center and I'll work out. But when I was doing the inking with, I think I used, most of the time I used a 0.2 fine liner. I have one of those cute sets where you've got a 0.1, 2, 3, up to 0.8. And I used the 0.2 fine liner to do the majority of the lines, and then as I went and did thicker pieces, and so I just used those ones instead. And I moved a lot. I didn't sort of do the one section and the next section. I'll do something on the outside and then move back into the inside and do something on the inside, and it's I guess a little bit more just keeps my head busy while I'm busy with it, so I don't get too sort of like stuck on one way of doing it. And also there's different things that have like a different impact in your hand. So like when I was doing like the very little circles, and I was doing the scaly things on some of the half circles on the edge of the mandala, it's quite painful after a while to draw that specific thing the whole time. So I'll stop and go do something that's a little bit bigger, and then go back again and go back to the piece that I was busy with originally. I also change how I hold my pen. This isn't something that I really noticed before, but when how you hold the pen sort of becomes painful. So I'll change how I'm holding the pen, and sometimes I'll grip it like the entire thing, and sometimes I'll just hold the tip like I'm doing over here now. And it literally kind of changes from place to place, or from what I'm doing to what I'm doing. I remember when we were in primary school, we drew a lot of maps, and one of the things that always drove me a little bit nuts is having to color in these maps. So I'll divide it into sections, and then I'll color in each section. And I feel as though it kind of pushed me to finish coloring the thing in, otherwise I never would have gotten around to it. And I found myself, even when I was drawing the mandala with a pen, when I was inking it in, I found myself doing the same thing, sort of dividing it into sections and telling myself, right, I'm going to achieve this piece now, and then I'll move on to the next piece, and then I'll achieve this piece, and then move on to the next piece, and just take it from there. And so by the time I got to the end of the mandala, I realized I needed a tiny bit more detail. I guess I didn't need detail, I just really wanted to do detail. So I just did a little bit of an experimentation. You can see on the top there, and then I was happy with it. So, right, so I'm gonna move through. I'm going to do this all over. Just give it a little bit more of an edge, more detail. I think it was more concentrating on the detail. I really wanted it to be a intricate, detailed mandala, as opposed to just sort of the flower ones that I usually do, which are aesthetically pleasing, but they don't keep you so interested while you're actually busy with it, which is something different. I was working quite late at night, and it's winter right now. It's in sunny South Africa, and because we're summer people, winter kind of kills us a little bit. It's ridiculously cold, and I know the Europeans would frown on us and tell us we don't know what winter is, but it's cold. So I found a pair of gloves at one of these it's crazy stores. So they have literally something of everything, and all of it is kind of super cheap, and it doesn't really last very long, but I was willing to just splurge on some gloves, and I came across these, and they were like 20 rand, and I was, yes, okay, I'm going to take these guys. They're going to help me through trying to survive doodling, drawing, painting, and doing artistic stuff during the winter months. Because my favorite time of day to work, unfortunately, is during the night when everyone else is sleeping. I've got my earphones on. I'm either listening to a movie or listening to some music, and then I'll sit and I forget time, so I kind of get lost. And then when I find myself, it's 3 hours later and it's 1:30 in the morning, and I should probably find a little bit of sleep in between there. But it is my favorite time of day to actually get lost in a piece, and not the original sort of constructing the piece and thinking about it and deciding what I'm going to do, but really when I've decided what I'm doing, and I just get lost in the piece and do whatever it is, the painting. I avoid painting though, because the light is a big issue for me. I prefer oil painting, and the difference in the light between daytime and nighttime is quite immense. And my room, I paint in my room, and it's the daylight is amazing, so there's never any direct sunlight onto my canvas, but there's this very, very nice light right through. So if I'm painting, I'll do it during the day, but not really the drawings, because you know what to expect from the colors when you're working with kokies and simple acrylics. And some of the watercolors also, you you know what to expect, so it comes out sort of like as you want. But with the oil painting, like I basically use 4 colors plus black and white. Then, well, I don't really use black. I'll use black as the base to prime the canvas. But anyway, you can mix a color during the day and then run out of it at night, and then try and mix some more, and you just don't get the same color again. The light is just so very different. Anyway, so here's, I got to the point where I was actually putting the red in. I was using my brush markers again. They're quite amazing. I used both the ones that I have. I have alcohol brush markers, and then I have these water-based ones, which also, they took me some time getting used to. So you can use them as normal cookies, but you can also use them on a wet paper or dip them in water. It's better to use them on wet paper, BT dubs, because you lose a lot of ink if you dip them in water. But I did try it that way as well, just in case. See how it goes and how it feels. So to do this black and red thing with the mandala itself, and then I wanted to do an accent with the green behind it. So I mixed super cheap acrylic paints, and actually I think I bought it at Crazy Store as well, or on Take A Lot or something like that, but I literally went for the cheapest ones, because that's what I use in my art journal. I'm trying to get an idea across. It doesn't have to be super expensive stuff, as long as there's enough pigment for you to see that it's green or red or blue. It really doesn't bother me. So I gave them a good mix on the palette. So sometimes I'm grabbing some more white and sometimes some more blue, and yeah. So I started out by I was going to be careful and do it in between the lines, but about halfway through I noticed this is really stupid. I'm just going to make sure that I've got the mandala itself properly surrounded and covered and filled in, and then I'm just going to literally paste paint all over the entire thing. And as I was busy with the initial green painting, no, even before, when I was busy with the last bit of the mandala, I realized, you know what I want to do is I really want to cut out a couple of different types of material into circles and just stick it into the circles that I'd drawn before. And I found, like I said, in primary school we did a lot of artwork, and sometimes I've kept most of the stuff, so I'll use some of the pages and stuff that we've done, and I'll incorporate it into whichever artwork I'm busy with at any given point in time. And a lot of them has really cool effects because we did a lot of coloring in, so you'll have a page with a lot of sky in it, so you have this consistent blue color, but you can see it's color pencil, so it's got a nice texture. So over here I've got some, I don't even know, again, something I bought at Crazy Store. It's gift wrap, but it's a tissue gift wrap, so that's the yellowish ones, and then the green ones with the sort of stripies on it, that was from my primary school book. And then the other green ones, the solid green ones, is just normal book wrapping paper I used to cover my journal. And yeah, so I cut them into circles and I just stuck them on, and I really like the effect. It looks really cool. So cut off all the extra pieces on the edges, because it was quite late at night, and I was like at that point where I'm almost done and I should probably, get finished, and I just pushed through. I was like, I'm gonna go for this, and then I know like the basic last little bit is all done and dusted. So yeah, colored in some of the pieces with just normal Koki pen, normal markers, and I put one red piece in because I was like, okay, this is gonna look cool with the whole entire piece. So it ended up really cool. I like the effect of the circles and the paint on the back. And this map, yeah, it was actually a map of the Roman Empire that I'd cut up. And you see here, this is my favorite bit. It's an absolute disaster. Nothing looks the same. None of the patterns that are supposed to look the same look the same. Each one is a little bit different, and there's no consistency. The only consistency is that it's more or less the same idea as the previous one, and that's literally the only thing that's that's the same. But, and I purposely zoomed in here because I wanted to show this, these little hearts that I did. The lines don't go all the way to the heart sometimes. The circles are different sizes. The funny little leaves are different sizes. The lines are in different places in different of the pieces. Yet somehow when you look at the entire piece, it looks really cool. And I think that's like one of the most awesome pieces of this is the fact that it looks like that. I mean, look, it looks cool. It looks really smooth and consistent, but if you look really close, it looks terrible, but yeah. Once again, thank you for watching my video, especially if you made it all the way here. You're a brave soldier. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos in the future. Comment, give advice, suggestions, and yeah, I'd like suggestions, random cool things, any medium, I don't care, any medium, any inspiration, anything is cool. Leave a comment down below, give some advice on ways I can improve my videos, on better music to use, because I'm literally using the same music again. Anything in that line, yeah. So maybe you can suggest a cool